Testing 1, 2. Check, check.
Sounds a little positive.
Yeah, testing 1. Okay.
All good. Thank you. And thank you all for your patience tonight. I would like to call to order the meeting of the Sophia Travis Grants Committee. And our one item of business is to hear from the grant applicants who will describe their applications and will lay out information that the public will be interested in hearing about your organization. So without further ado, let me introduce the committee members. Peter Iverson is on my left. Denny Olm-Stevens is on my left also. On my right, Jennifer Crossley. And on my right again is Patty Johnson. And we put these people through a lot of work because they are reading all your applications. So we're going to begin with the list of presenters, and you all have a copy of it. And so I would like to recommend that that you can use either the center table or the podium to give your presentation. And it is 3 minutes. You will receive a tone at the 2.5-minute mark. And this has always gone very well, so I'm expecting that same thing tonight. You might see a light on the microphone. Just leave that light on if it's on, or if it's not on, just leave it that way too. We never know which is the best way to do it, but as long as we leave it alone, it seems to behave. I will advise that you have the mic fairly close to your mouth. So if you're tall, go ahead and raise it up. If you're short, go ahead and push it back down. So the first 3 presentations are Stone Belt, Pantry 279, and Mother Hubbard's Cover. Shall we begin, please?
Hi, everybody. My name is Adam Hamill. I'm the Director of Community Engagement at Stone Belt. And I will try and keep this short because while I'm the first, I know what it's like to be the 42nd person here. So for those of you who don't know Stone Belt, it is our mission in partnership with the community to prepare, empower, and support individuals with disabilities and their families to fully participate in the life of the community. Stone Belt started in 1959 with 9 families who wanted a better future for their children. At that time, there was no free and public education offered to children with developmental disabilities. We now serve 1,100 people throughout South Central Indiana, and many of which live here in Bloomington. We provide residential supports, nursing, employment supports, as well as employment fundamentals, which is what I'll be talking about today. Our Employment Fundamentals program offers everything from life skills training to pre-employment skills training so that people can become more independent in their lives. The individuals that we support all have developmental disabilities, and back in the 1960s, the life expectancy of someone with developmental disability was somewhere in their 30s. We are now providing services to people well into their 80s and 90s. And while some people that we support may have needed hygiene and physical support throughout their entire lives, we are now supporting more and more people who need physical and hygiene support as they get older. In our Employment Fundamentals program, we do have one adult changing table, but as we're serving more people who have more physically demanding needs and people who are older, we are finding that we need another changing table. And the only type of changing table that both supports the weight of the folks that we provide services to and has the proper length is the Versamobile high-low changing table, which we are asking the Sophia Travis Committee to fund us $3,000 to purchase such table. I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. Thank you. Pantry 279 and Mother Hubbard's Cupboard. Go ahead and come and sit on the bench here if you're number 3. And come on. And then we'll be ready for to move with taking less time to walk to the podium. Hello.
Hello. I just want to thank you for the opportunity and for your time here today. My name is Tracy Ayala. I am the Delivery Director and Volunteer Director at Pantry 279, and this is Logan Spencer. He is my associate at the Pantry. For those of you who don't know about Pantry 279, we were started in 2015 by a Girl Scout troop. Our first month, we served 120 families, which is roughly 600 people. Today, Pantry 279 serves over 61,200 unduplicated clients each year. 72% of our guests live in Monroe County. 80% of our guests are the working poor. Others served include older adults, disabled individuals, grandparents raising grandchildren. Our community partners either pick up food from our pantry or we deliver food to their facilities to serve their clients. This includes elderly and disabled adults and children, as well as some drug rehab facilities and helping out our unhoused neighbors here in Bloomington. Pantry 279 operates a holistic low barrier food pantry, distributing food items, household items, health and beauty items, and other basic necessities for individuals living in South Central Indiana. We are now located in Bloomington. It was Ellettsville up until a year ago. We really strive to reduce the stigma of coming to a food pantry by being low barrier, not asking a whole lot of information about financial situations or anything like that. We really do focus on just feeding people. Our delivery program especially has increased in numbers within the last 3 months. It's almost doubled. And the deliveries that we send out to people are mostly elderly, disabled, people who are ill, people who don't have transportation. So we applied for this grant in hopes that we could get some funds to purchase more food items. I know inflation is hitting everyone right now, and our donations are at an all-time low, and our lines just keep getting longer and longer. Right now, people are focused on helping us with our Thanksgiving food program, which is awesome, but that creates an issue with our regular donations and our regular distribution and the food that we have for our delivery program. So that's what we're here for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Mother Hubbard's Cupboard.
It doesn't look like I have anyone signed in for that organization today.
Let's move to the next 3 on the list. Tandem, Bloomington Developmental Learning Center, and Lotus. If you would come up to the bench in the area, that will be great, and that will help us move along.
I do not have anything for those 3 either.
He did not come? That's interesting.
Everybody's hand is up on Zoom.
Is there, thank you, Jennifer. I don't see it. Which is it?
Looks like there's 2. Megan.
Megan.
And then there's a JD. That hand is up on Zoom.
JD and
Julie Duhan and Megan.
Okay.
Hi, this is Julie Duhan from Tandem. Are you able to see
Can,
everybody on the Zoom, what organizations we're affiliated with?
yes, there we go. We have you, Julie. Thank you.
Okay. Tandem is a hub for perinatal and reproductive services and resources in our community, from midwifery-led gynecology care and period equity programs to prenatal and postpartum medical care, postpartum doula services, and community programming. Tandem services are accessible for all, regardless of ability to pay. In January of 2023, we launched our mental health in pregnancy and postpartum support group, thanks to being a subawardee of IU Health's DMHA Community Catalyst Grant. Because of this funding, we were able to launch our support groups at absolutely no cost to our clients. In the last 21 months, we've completed intakes on almost 60 clients and have about 25 current clients actively attending either the in-person or virtual weekly mental health groups. Some of these clients joined the program in pregnancy and are now celebrating their baby's first birthdays. With long wait lists for perinatal specific mental health services and the absolute necessity of community, especially in pregnancy and early parenthood, these services meet a critical need. We receive referrals to this group from throughout the community. We all know it takes a village. We are not supposed to parent alone, but not everyone has a readily accessible village. Mental health issues can further isolate parents. When BABS, Bloomington Area Birth Services, operated in Bloomington, it closed in 2015, it offered many classes and support groups for families, and I still meet adults in Bloomington with grown or nearly grown kids who met their best parent friends at BABS and have remained friends to this day. We see these kinds of friendships and connections forming out of this group at Tandem now. It is known that adequate support lowers rates of depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress symptoms, and additionally improves parents' ability to nurture and consistently parent their children. Perinatal mood and anxiety disorders affect as many as 1 in 5 birthing people and 1 in 10 partners. My personal history with perinatal PTSD is one reason why I founded Tandem. I know my child's first year would have been improved without her mother crying daily and experiencing traumatic flashbacks. Our groups also become a stepping stone to access additional Tandem and community resources, allowing us to further broaden our client support networks. I'd like to leave you with a few quotes from clients who hope to see these support groups continue. The Tandem Mental Health Group has changed my life. I have friends and support I wouldn't have found without it. It changed the course of my parenting and my child's life as well. The support group has helped me realize that it's okay to not be okay and that I have a newfound community of friends cheering me on every step of the way. Tears come to my eyes in gratefulness. Really beautiful people have gotten me through the hardest part of my life. We hope that the Sophia Travis Committee will help us fund this essential service so we can keep barriers low and the group free. We know that serving new parents helps break cycles of adversity, reducing adverse childhood experiences and yielding positive health repercussions for those parents and their children for decades to come. We're so grateful for your support. We hope you'll help us fund this service that is uniquely offered by Tandem to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Duhan. Do we have anybody from Bloomington Developmental Learning Center online? Checking it out. They aren't?
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
It's Megan.
Okay, thank you. PSD, could you make Megan Betts? Pardon? You should be good, Megan. So I do see the microphone struck out on the screen, so that's why I asked.
She's speaking now, but.
Okay, take a pause if you would, please, Megan. And she is muted according to the screen that we're looking at. Hmm. Do you have, can you click your mic icon, Megan? Okay. No. Can we hear her?
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Wonderful.
The miracle. Are
Please
you ready
proceed.
for me? Do you want me to go ahead?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, great. So sorry. Hello, I am Megan Betts, CEO at Mother Hubbard's Cupboard, also known as The Hub. Thank you for hearing from us this evening and for your longtime support. We really appreciate it. The Hub is a community food resource center that increases access to healthy food in ways that cultivate dignity, agency, and community. And that we at the Hub know that access to healthy food is a basic human right. The reality is that at least 12% of our neighbors here in Monroe County do not have reliable access to the food they need. For those 17,000 folks, the Hub is an essential resource center. To date this year, our low barrier client choice food pantry has served over 70,000 duplicated individuals from over 23,000 households. While these numbers are staggering, for the first time since COVID, demand is stabilizing. After several years of double-digit growth, we expect to host a number of pantry visits comparable to 2023. While we're relieved to have a pause in increased demand, we're alarmed by the elevated numbers that we're holding at, particularly when we look at responses to our annual patron survey. In 2023, 24% of respondents said they get most or all of their food from the Hub. 64% of respondents shared that they have shopped at the Hub for more than 1 year. For many, the experience of food insecurity is persistent, and we aim to minimize its impact, particularly as those receiving our services are populations disproportionately experiencing poverty and food insecurity. 25% are BIPOC, while just 15% of the county's population is BIPOC. 35% of respondents identify as disabled, while an estimated 13% of the general population have disabilities. And we receive the greatest number of requests for targeted support from households with children and elderly individuals living on fixed incomes. We dedicate much of our time at the Hub to going beyond the moment of immediate need to minimize the impact of experiencing food insecurity through building well-resourced, asset-oriented, nourishing relationships. But today I'm here to focus on the baseline that allows us to have those conversations. As you know from our application, the Hub has requested $7,000 in pantry support. Funding will directly support increased access to healthy food for our community in 2 ways. First, paying a portion of our 2024 Hoosier Hills Food Bank shared maintenance charge, which remains by far the most cost-effective way for us to bring in a range of grocery items to the pantry. We request $6,000 for this need, covering several months' invoices and thousands of pounds of food. Second, providing bus passes for our patrons to reduce the barrier of transportation access that many of our patrons face. As we continue to hear from patrons that transportation is a leading barrier to accessing our pantry, we have raised our request for funds to purchase bus tickets to $1,000 in an effort to keep pace with demand. And that is what I have for you this evening. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Our next presentation, Bloomington Developmental Learning Center. Is there anyone here or online? I think I'll move on to the next one, which is Lotus. Anyone here from Lotus? In person or online? We're moving along. Next is Amethyst House, followed by Grace Center, followed by St. Vincent de Paul. And these will, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
We had some gaps in our schedule. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Can you hear me? I'm trying to
Yes.
make sure I'm right in the right spot. Good?
Yes.
Excellent. Hello, council members. I want to thank you all for your time. I'm Delaney Dorsch, and I'm here from Amethyst House, a Bloomington-based nonprofit that serves individuals with substance abuse disorders. Our services include residential and outpatient treatment, and we're emphasizing a foundation towards recovery. Our request for the Sophia Travis grant is $6,000, and that would include 13% of our food budget. The remaining cost would be $39,000, which is covered from the Division of Mental Health and Addiction by the state of Indiana. This grant would aid in any unprecedented costs for the residential facilities, like the rising cost of food. All food expenses are covered within the residential fees to ensure the fruitful transition of recovery with filling nutritional meals. Adequate nutrition is essential towards the client's recovery process, and this can enhance mental health and physical health. According to the USDA, the consumer price index for food rose 25% from 2019 to 2023. And this can be attributed to many reasons like inflation, COVID-19 pandemic shifting consumption patterns, other global events, and animal disease. The 2022 average cost of food at the men's house was $52 a day and $32 a day at the women's house. The increasing expenses of food was average the daily cost of food at the men's house to be $69 a day and $52 a day at the women's house, $69 a day at the men's house. And this award would cover the cost of approximately 50 days of 2 meals provided towards the men's and women's residential homes. These costs have been attempted to be maintained from 2023 to 2024, but from August 2023 to July 2024, the consumer price index rose 2.1%. So the requested cost of $6,000 will stabilize Amethyst House during this period of rising costs. Our goals align with the Sophia Travis Grant's vision of health, food, nutrition, security, and shelter. And we want the utmost quality for our residents to enrich the Monroe County community members going through a very important transitional period in their lives. Thank you.
That was quick.
Thank you.
Speaking.
Next, we'll hear from Grace Center.
Good evening. I'm Chris Triba, President of the Grace Center Board of Directors, and on behalf of the board, I want to thank the Monroe County Council for its time today. Grace Center received 501c3 status in March of 2006, and later that year the food pantry began serving Clear Creek, Indian Creek, and Polk Townships in southern Monroe County. Our facility is located in Harrodsburg, where we work from a small space serving about 1,550 households per year, or 30 to 35 on a weekly basis. Grace Center has a long-standing commitment to providing nutritious food to our neighbor clients. This rural area of the county faces some similar issues as larger communities like Bloomington and Bedford. Our clients struggle with food insecurity and typically have limited access to convenient grocery stores. For them, Grace Center has become a reliable and convenient source. To meet operating needs, our pantry relies on monetary and food donations from local churches, organizations, businesses, even some clubs, and as well as individuals. Food items from Hoosier Hills Food Bank as well, and grants including previous allocations of the Sophia Travis Community Service Grant. Our longstanding goal is to offer nutritious foods, including milk, eggs, bread, in addition to meat and other proteins, boxed and canned goods, and fresh produce whenever possible. Grace Center's mission extends beyond food to encouraging social interaction. On any given Thursday, during weekly pantry hours. It's common to see extended conversations between or among our volunteers and clients. And speaking of our volunteers, they generously dedicate more than 950 hours of service each year. With that, we submit this year's applications for assistance with assistance for food purchases for 2025. And we truly appreciate the vital role the Monroe County Council has played in the ongoing sustainability of our pantry. On behalf of the board, sincerely thank you for your time this evening and consideration of our grant application. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace Center. Next, we'll hear from St. Vincent de Paul.
Hello, my name's Scott Alber. I'm president of the St. Vincent de Paul Society here in Bloomington, and we certainly appreciate all the help that the Sophia Travis Grant has given us in the past. We only come when we have a special need. This year, our all-volunteer agency, organization, I should say, we are finding that we are being asked to help a lot of the other agencies in town. They come to rely on us as stopgap measures because we provide financial assistance and we provide furniture assistance. What we are finding this year is one of the things we find very much in need is helping people get beds for their children and their families. We've actually gotten mattresses this year, but what we don't have is bed frames. We are running at about a 30% deficit to mattresses that we can provide that don't have either bed frames or box springs. So what we are asking for a grant this year is a grant to buy 200 bed frames. And that would basically be 150 hybrid frames that don't require box springs. And then sometimes we do get box springs, but then we just do universal frames. So what we're asking for is 200 frames. And just to show you how fast we go, we used our own funds to buy 40 frames. Well, actually 60 total, but 40 got delivered at the end of August. Those frames are already gone. So we have a huge need. We would really appreciate you consider our application to buy 200. That would help leverage all the bed donation, all the mattresses donations we get. And that also helps us to keep from giving our general funds, which we use for rent and utilities. So we really appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, St. Vincent de Paul. Next, we'll hear from El Centro Comunal Latino, followed by the Chamber of Commerce and Susie's Place. And I'm going to make one change to the schedule in order to accommodate somebody whose schedule is challenged by having the time at the end of our presentations, and they cannot be here. So I hope you all will accommodate them. This is the Cancer Support Community, and they will follow Susie's Place in their presentation. Okay, let's hear from El Centro.
She's online.
And
hi, good evening.
Good.
I'm Ana Cordero. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. Well, Centro Comunal Latino is a grassroots community-based nonprofit organization that seeks to provide an accessible and safe space for all Latinos with a focus on Spanish-speaking people to find information, access to resources, and a place to hold community events. El Centro Comunal Latino also seeks to promote communication and understanding among services agencies and the Latino community in order to facilitate their integration and encourage active participation in the greater Bloomington community. One of the main barriers in our community is the language. That's why sometimes El Centro helps people to communicate, and one of our goals with this project is to assist clients with settling in the community while they're most of them are asylum seeker, have asylum cases pending. And this involves helping them with emergency expenses such as rent, food, and transportation. One of the main problems in our community is the rent. Many of them, they are new in the community, they are trying to find a job, they came with their families, and most of the time they are living with relatives, with friends, and they're living in very hard conditions. And it's hard for them to try to find the initial amount of money to move. That's why we are requiring to this project 6,000 to assist our community in rent and utilities. That's why, well, we are asking this amount because most of our clients do not qualify for assistance, as well as their immigration or asylum status create barriers for social services. Many of them, they can qualify for assistance at the townships, they can qualify for another housing programs, and the only resource that they have is contacting us. And that's why it's important for us to have the opportunity to apply and get the funds to help the Latino community. Thank you for this opportunity, and we hope to have the possibility to count with the Sophia Travis fund this year. Thank you.
Thank you for presenting. Next, we'll hear from the Chamber of Commerce. Hello.
Hello, I'm Katie Sensabaugh with the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce Foundation. The Chamber's foundation has embarked on a mission to educate local middle school students on the vast career opportunities available to them in Monroe County. In order to reach 1,000 students this year and engage 50 local businesses and organizations, we are respectfully seeking a grant of $4,000 to aid in this youth enrichment opportunity, the Career Cruise. The Success School, a division of the Chamber's Foundation, will manage this program. The Success School, which acts as the connection between the business and education communities, strives to provide real-world learning opportunities for area K-12 students and to excite young people about future careers to shape tomorrow's workforce in Monroe County. We partner with MCCSC and RBBCSC and provide programming in elementary, middle, and high schools on job skills, entrepreneurship, career exploration, and financial literacy. Given the success of the inaugural Career Cruise last year, we are continuing this program and are expanding it, including Edgewood Middle School 8th graders to the cruise too, which will add 200 more students than last year. Students will take a field trip to the Monroe Convention Center, where our business partners will provide informative, interactive, educational, and a fun day surrounding the topic of careers. The Career Cruise is designed for students to feel as if they are vacationing on a cruise ship with Hawaiian leis and blow-up palm trees and all of that. This is intended to bring a fun atmosphere to a somewhat stressful experience as students start to think about choosing a career path to follow in high school. Students will rotate through 4 different ports of call with exhibitor booths featuring local businesses. And the overall idea of the day is to give these middle schoolers an idea of what kind of jobs will be available to them after they graduate high school or potentially after even college, especially if they choose to stay here and live in Monroe County. By the end of the cruise, students will have gained knowledge from over 50 businesses on jobs in our area and have a good understanding of the education requirements and skills needed to be successful in that career. The grant money will be used to offset venue costs as well as the cruise-themed decor and drawstring bags for students to carry items and informational sheets with them. The Chamber is so appreciative of the Sophia Travis Community Service Grants Program and all it does for our community. The support from this grant has allowed us to expand our programs in the past and provide future experiences to students in our area. Thank you for your consideration, and we look forward to seeing where this event will go.
Thank you, Katie. Next, we'll hear from Susie's Place.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Bauer, and I'm a forensic interviewer at Susie's Place Child Advocacy Centers. I work out of our Bloomington Center, but we also have locations in Avon and in Terre Haute. We use a multidisciplinary approach to investigate reported crimes against children. We are able to do this because of our partnerships with many different agencies. For Monroe County specifically, we work with Bloomington Police Department, Ellettsville Police Department, Monroe County Sheriff's Department, Monroe County Department of Child Services, Monroe County Prosecutor's Office, and IU Health. Since opening our doors in 2009, we have served over 16,000 children. Our Bloomington location was opened in 2011, and since that time, we have served 6,349 children, with 2,012 being children in Monroe County alone. Just this year, we have already served over 70 children in our community. We've applied for this grant because we are in need of assistance with our Bloomington expansion project. We are working to expand our ability to respond to pediatric medical forensic exams for child victims of sexual abuse and sexual assault. We are looking to include a private waiting room, a trauma-informed designed space, expand our clothing closet, add an additional child forensic interview room and family meeting room, and add additional office or workspace for medical partners and Susie's Place staff. Our medical program is only offered out of our Bloomington Center at this time. It is also the only pediatric medical forensic exam location in the entire South Central region of Indiana. As of this time, our medical program has already served over 500 children since it began in November of 2016. We have been working tirelessly to try and acquire the funds necessary for this expansion. It is quite substantial. If we are selected for the Sophia Travis grant, we are specifically hoping to use the funds to add the additional child forensic interview room. We use a system called iRecord for all of our interviews. iRecord is how we digitally record our forensic interviews and display them on a closed circuit television in another room for our multidisciplinary team to watch in real time. This allows the child to have one comprehensive interview, which helps reduce the recurrence of trauma and the number of times a child has to retell their experience. Instead of the child having to tell a detective with a law enforcement agency and a worker with DCS and all of that, they can just do it one time with the forensic interviewer in a room with just those two, and all of those members can watch while it's happening live and come up with questions that as a forensic interviewer may miss. So we would be so appreciative if we were selected for this grant. It would allow us to continue our work with child victims of abuse and violence in our community. Our goal is to increase our ability to provide the services needed for every child to have a chance at a safe and happy childhood. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you. Next, Cancer Support Community. And thank you to Councilmember Peter Iverson for fielding this question about scheduling. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for that adjustment. I really appreciate being able to be here face-to-face with you. My name is Stephanie Shelton. I'm the Development Manager for Cancer Support Community in the Bloomington office. We're part of a statewide organization. Our main office for Indiana is located on the northwest side of Indianapolis. The Bloomington office serves the Monroe County area primarily, with outer lying counties, Owen, Greene, and surrounding areas. We provide free support and resources to anyone impacted by cancer. What I'm here to talk to you about today is a specific program where we provide resources to cancer patients. Oftentimes when you're diagnosed with cancer, you experience a lot of new things in life, maybe have to take some time off work, your finances are different, your daily activities are different. One of the things that we do is offer transportation and food financial assistance. So we'll provide a grocery gift card and a gas gift card to a cancer patient who needs help in an emergent time in their treatment cycle. This can be, even a small amount can make an extremely big difference. Someone who's doing radiation, for example, might attend 5 weeks in a row of radiation every single day. and have to take that time off work. Maybe even their spouse has to take time off work to provide them care as well. So we are requesting $8,000 to purchase food and transportation assistance. These would be grocery and gas gift cards. There's some administrative cost to that in terms of postage and just reviewing the applications. We have a financial requirement for these applications to be sure that we're stewarding the funds in a very respectful way. And the financial requirement is 300% of poverty or below. So if someone has lost their job or has just taken time off, they can qualify. It looks at current financial situation, not the prior year. We expect around 40 cancer patients in this coming year, 2025, to request this assistance. One of the things that we've noticed is that this request is increasing. Last year, we received 26 requests. We believe it's increased. Is that 3 minutes? Okay. We believe it's increasing because there has been a shortage of funds providing transportation assistance through IU Health. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer. If not, then thank you for considering our request.
Thank you. We'll go back to our regular order, and next up are Back the Line, College Mentors for Kids, and Bloomington Cooperative Living. Hello.
Good evening. My name is Megan Harris, and I am the Secretary of Back the Line. Back the Line of Monroe County is a charitable organization that offers support to Monroe County's first responders and their families when tragedy strikes. We offer immediate monetary and emotional support to the surviving families of a fallen, ill, or injured Monroe County first responder. Since our inception in 2021, we have served over 20 first responders. This support is individualized to each case's needs and can consist of monetary support, meals, lawn care, child care, and mental health resources. Throughout the year, we also provide access to peer support, chaplain services, social workers, grief counseling, and incident debriefings. We are seeking support for our annual Hometown Heroes event at Jellystone Campground. This event strives to create a weekend of mental and emotional reprieve for our first responders, create lasting memories within the participating first responder families, and create connections of support amongst the 15 departments that we support. This event serves both as a weekend of fun and as our biggest fundraiser of the year. All money raised from this weekend is used to fund injured, ill, or fallen first responders, as well as to support our mental health initiatives. This upcoming Hometown Heroes will be the 5th anniversary of the line of duty loss of deputy driver, and we expect a larger than typical crowd. If you were to ask any of our families that have participated in our previous Hometown Heroes events, they would tell you that this weekend provides a critical resource for them. According to a 2022 Psychiatric Times article, our first responders have a higher rate of PTSD, suicidal ideation, extreme exhaustion, and deaths related to job stress. In fact, first responders are more likely to die from suicide than from a line of duty death. This Hometown Heroes weekend provides a time to relax, take an emotional and mental break, and reconnect with their families. This time is critical since the divorce rates within their first responder community are 15% higher than the national average. After this weekend of fun and support, our participants report feeling restored and ready to return to service. While we have previously used our own funds and some minor local donations to fund our Hometown Heroes weekend, it can deplete our financial reserves that are allocated for mental health support and financial assistance in times of crisis. This year, we are seeking more community support for this event to help with expense costs, as well as to ensure that our first responders are supported by the county and the people that they serve. Our first responders give everything they have to this county and its residents, and we want them to know they are seen and appreciated for their dedication and effort. Unfortunately, all 15 of our first responder departments within our county are understaffed and underfunded, so the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical support we can provide is vital. Funds received from the Sophia Travis grant will directly improve the health of our many fire, police, EMS, and dispatch departments within our local county. Thank you for your consideration and for supporting our county's first responders.
Thank you. Back the line. Next, we'll hear from College Mentors for Kids.
We do have 2 hands raised online.
Okay. Well, or not. And is Do you see the other one, Courtney?
It looks like the hand went back down. Do we have anyone online for college mentors for kids? It looks like the other presenter is from CJAM, so I don't think we have anyone
Right.
for this item.
Okay, let's move on to Bloomington Cooperative Living. Hello.
Oh, way too short. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Leslie Kosenko. Good evening to distinguished counselors, the fellow nonprofits, and members of the community. I'm honored to speak today for Bloomington Cooperative Living, or BCL, which is a nonprofit dedicated to building both inclusive and affordable housing through a cooperative shared living model. BCL is requesting $5,737 for immediate repairs needed to fix a combined kitchen and dining space at one of our largest houses, which houses 20 residents. This repair will help us maintain a safe physical environment, which I will explain in a bit. The need for affordable housing in our community is urgent. Monroe County ranks 7th in the nation for cost-burdened renters, with approximately 52% of renters spending more than a third of their income on housing. This has a ripple effect on their ability to cover other essentials like healthcare, education, and even groceries, let alone creating a personal savings account. Cooperative living alleviates this pressure by offering a stable and supportive environment where members can thrive both financially and socially. We want people who live and work in Bloomington to stay in Bloomington. BCL exists to address the need for affordable housing, and we believe that our cooperative model is a powerful way to create this stability, community engagement, and equity for low-income individuals and families. Since 2007, BCL has transformed from a student-led organization passionate about cooperative living to an organization as 3 owned homes and 2 rented homes in the downtown Bloomington area. Among these homes are individuals like me who work at local nonprofits, students, and most importantly, individuals and families working and living in Bloomington. Our residents come from diversity of ages, from infant to elderly, many different cultural backgrounds with many different languages, and a great many members of the LGBTQ+ community. We support each other with complete inclusivity. Cooperative housing is unique because it empowers residents, and not just as tenants, but as stakeholders for where they live. Every member has a voice in decisions and shared responsibilities. In this day of isolation, community is now more important than ever. The Trellis at 921 West 9th Street, for which we are seeking funding, has 18 rooms, including 2 suites for families. The suites include 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and a private shared living space. BCL owned homes requires tenants to fall below 80% of AMI to maintain these affordable house standards. Our model reduces the instability and ensures that renters and the cost of rent remain affordable over a long term. Our critical need for this flooring is because when in the height of the pandemic with skyrocketing materials costs, during the renovation, structural beam damage was found. We stayed within our budget then, but to be quite honest, it has put the vinyl flooring past the point of no return. Now the flooring needs replaced with hardwood to maintain structural integrity. We appreciate the support of the Sophia Travis grant, and thank you for listening and our consideration. This is our first time applying, so excuse me, I'm a little nervous. And in closing, thank you for the steps that you all make in the community. Any questions?
I think you all will see that we don't have time to ask questions or we'll never get out of here.
Although we want to.
We want to. But that's why you write those proposals, so we can read them and answer our questions. So we have the welcome table, followed by Hoosiers Feeding the Hungry and Community Justice and Mediation Center. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. I'm Reverend Sarah Lynn Gershon. I'm the Associate Minister at First Christian Church, and I'm presenting on the welcome table. First Christian Church has a long history of supporting and serving our unhoused community. When a few years ago, the welcome table was started in our building when Shalom Center closed on the weekends. It started organically. We noticed that some of our congregants who were unhoused were coming earlier to church because they didn't have any other place to be and were hungry. So we had a member who started buying cereal and milk, and then other members who started donating. Word spread, more people came, and soon our coffee fellowship hour was bursting to the seams. So we moved the breakfast upstairs in our great hall and started trying to budget for it. Our goal is to serve healthy and filling and delicious food. We want to show our diners that we value them and believe they deserve to eat the same kind of food that I eat in the morning with my kids. So we usually serve items like hard-boiled eggs, milk, cereal, oatmeal, fruit, peanut butter and jelly, cheese, and deli meats. We love when there's ham sales at Kroger. We also, of course, have coffee and tea. Since its start, the welcome table started serving around 30 people. That's when we started to really fill up our small coffee fellowship room. Then last year, we were serving around 75 when you also helped support this breakfast with the Sophia Travis grant. Now we're serving closer to 100 every week. So our expenses continue to rise. I have a memory of getting a text message that one of the last Sundays was 124, but I couldn't find it. I know for sure that our most recently was 117 people. This naturally increases our food costs. We've also, of course, had increased cleaning costs and things like that for the room, and staffing costs as we've hired a community engagement partner. He helps oversee the breakfast and also connect people to resources and coordinate if we can support them with whatever they're doing. So, for example, this last year, we've, in obviously conjunction with other really wonderful groups like Beacon, have helped support people who are getting into housing for regular attenders of the breakfast. This year, we're asking that you continue to help support our essential core items of milk and eggs as we continue to try to meet the growing demand and make sure that we're leaving everyone full when they go. Also, we try to help provide people with food for lunch, since there is not also not a lunch or dinner on Sundays. Outside of, I think, Wheeler Mission is the only place that that's provided. So yes, we've been providing also bagged lunches if requested and that's been supported by some local churches. Thank you so much for hearing our request and for your support this year, and I hope that you'll be able to support us next year. Thank you.
Thank you, welcome table. Now we'll hear from Hoosiers Feeding the Hungry. And it seems like we have lots of hungry in Monroe County.
There's a lot of people hungry. That's why we're all here. My name is Susie Jordan. I'm the new executive director at Hoosiers Feeding the Hungry. We're based in DeKalb County, which we had a little drive today to come to visit with you about our unique mission. We take in donations of livestock and venison and pay the processing fee through a network of over 45 processors in 60 of the 92 counties of our state, and we partner with 160 different partner agencies who are the recipients of the ground meat. This is the #1 product that most food pantries are in need of. Ever made a bowl of chili? You get the beans, you get the tomatoes, but where's the meat? Tacos without chicken or beef, venison or pork are a little boring for a child who's 6 years old and wants to just have a crunchy taco in their mouth. Most parents who are going to a food bank within Indiana and have the opportunity to pick up meat, it's the first stop they make because that's how they base the rest of their week's meals on, let alone plan for leftovers and how they can do it. Our agency is very unique in what we do. Last year, we had a transition in the leadership to me, and I took over in October. Unfortunately, the main source of our meat protein and our animals have been through the Monroe County Fair. Unfortunately, in 2024, we were not able to meet the need that the county fair had due to financial resources that were utilized prior to me coming on board. But I'm very happy and very proud of a community to stand up and the businesses that took over and made sure that the 30 animals that were donated were processed and donated to a lot of the organizations that you've heard of tonight. All the funds that were requested in the tune of $7,500, that will all go to be processing meat for next year's 4-H fair. We're planning ahead. We're also estimating that that cost in whole will be over $16,000, and myself and my agency are fundraising to make up that difference so it's not a burden to your community again. I'd like to thank you for the past support of our agency, and I look forward to the future support so that we can continue to make sure that people in Monroe County have that meat protein that most of us take for granted. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's hear now from Community Justice and Mediation Center, and I believe we have Liz Granat online. Hello. I'm trying. Liz, if you're waiting to get on, our technical services know that you're there.
She's been promoted. Do you have the ability to use your mic, Ms. Granat? If you could type in chat.
So we have, Liz, we need you to click your microphone and enable it. In
the chat, she's saying yes.
And who? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have to put that at the end. Okay. So I don't see that we have anybody from CJAM to speak. We may have to adjust toward the end of our presentations and try and get the people that we've missed to come back in.
I just wanted to point out that we did have someone that we missed earlier join online. So I was going to propose that we could have those folks present at the end if we miss anyone.
Okay. So we know that we have missed who?
We missed Lotus earlier, and I saw that they have joined virtually.
Okay. Lotus, look towards the end of this presentation, and we'll be very glad to hear from you. So, and CJAM, same thing if you are able to get on. So let's do People and Animal Learning Services. PALS. Hello, PALS.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Herring. I'm the Executive Director for People and Animal Learning Services. Our mission is to promote joy and quality of life, better health and empowerment by providing therapeutic programming with horses. For over 24 years, PALS has been a leader in equine assisted services in the Bloomington community. We're best known for our adaptive riding programs. However, since I've been the executive director over the past 3 years, I've made a big step forward in addressing community needs. We've expanded our mission to tackle broader issues such as mental health access, social connection, and crime prevention. Today, I'd like to highlight our Valiant Strides program, which is a new program designed to support veterans and first responders. These men and women face immense challenges like post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, and risk of suicide. Through our equine-assisted curriculum, we introduce principles of natural horsemanship to help them build trust, respect, collaboration in their personal and professional lives. With our equine partners, participants learned the value of finesse over force, cooperation over control. This helps them better manage stress, regulate emotions, and separate work life from home life. By empowering them to thrive, we're helping our entire community to become stronger and more resilient. The benefits include renewed energy and focus, building community and a social network, fellowship, and support. Lesson themes include leadership, mutual respect, clear communication, and collaboration. We're requesting $5,500 to provide 20 hours of programming for 20 to 50 veterans. These funds will cover horses, equipment, instructors, and overhead. We receive referrals from organizations like Joining Forces, Veterans Court, VA clinics, to ensure that we're reaching those who need our services. By supporting our veterans and first responders, we're equipping them to handle everyday challenges and continue serving our communities to their highest levels. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Let's hear now from Bloomington Refugee Support Network. Did I miss?
You're online.
Okay, thank you. And it looks like they are ready to speak to us. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Good evening, committee members. Can you hear me?
I think you're ready to speak to us, but I don't know how our system is doing. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Can't hear you.
Okay. Good evening. Refugee Support Network is a local all-volunteer nonprofit that since 2016 assists newly arriving families who fled violence in their home countries. We help them adjust to life in our community, help the kids succeed in schools, reacquire job skills, address urgent medical, dental, and trauma concerns. We do this in conjunction with the wonderful partners in our community from food pantries, medical offices, shelters, women's health and pregnancy centers, faith communities, etc. Over the past 8 years, we've helped over 200 families who fled violence in countries such as China, Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Syria, Congo, Venezuela, Colombia, and quite a few others. In the past 3 years, we have seen our client mix evolve, now with more federal agency-sponsored refugees coming to us for support after their agency financial support has ceased. We also see more incoming families who fled violence and needing support, who came through alternative refugee paths, such as the Church World Service Welcome Corps program, United for Ukraine, and other asylum seeker paths. I'd like to emphasize the majority of our friends achieve financial independence within a year. A big focus of Refugee Support Network is helping mothers and children. When families arrive, the husbands are typically working, learning English, learning about its community. Older kids are in school, but the women with small kids are at home feeling very isolated with fewer opportunities to learn English and learn about getting their job skills updated to where they can contribute. And so we have many volunteer activities that help them, drive them to different activity. Another focus is helping new families understand and address medical concerns. Some of these are long-standing problems. Much of our support involves transportation to food pantries and these medical appointments. Another focus is coordinating with the existing ethnic group community members that have been here for decades, introducing them, making sure that they know about these families and leveraging their activities to where we can work together and provide greater comfort, greater welcoming to these families. Thank you for your consideration and support tonight.
Thank you, Refugee Support.
Could you please state your name for the record?
My name is Pete Lenzen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Beacon, please.
Hello, my name is Amy Kendall, and I'm the Development Director at Beacon. Beacon's mission is to aid and empower people experiencing extreme poverty, especially hunger and homelessness. It's come time for us to have some new equipment for our hunger relief program, Phil's Kitchen, which is one of our 6 programs. Our hunger relief program is an integral part of our mission, and this equipment's very important to us. We're respectfully requesting $6,500 for a new industrial freezer. Phil's Kitchen is the 2nd largest meal provider in Bloomington. We serve breakfast and lunch 5 days a week out of the Shalom Center. In 2023, we served 53,437 meals to hungry people in our community. We keep our costs low. It costs about $2 to serve 1 meal at Phil's Kitchen. And we do this partially because we have a great partnership with Hoosier Hills Food Bank. We partner with them to receive approximately 80,000 pounds of food per year. And so our fridges and freezers are very important to us in having us be able to store food and have food be stored safely for our guests. We currently have 1 freezer and it's working fine, but we used to have 2 freezers and that 2nd freezer is broken. We tried to fix it. We regassed it, which is when you try and put the refrigerating component material back in it, and that didn't work. And it's just not, we tried to save it and it's just not working. So with a new freezer, with a 2nd freezer, we could store an additional 1,150 pounds of food, depending, that varies of course, depending some on what type of food it is. And this means we could receive more food per Hoosier Hills Food Bank delivery. And so that would just make things more convenient and more efficient for us. Also, it's important to keep food separated, like the seafood separate from the other types of meat and those things. So having more space would really help us make sure our food stays safe and that we have enough room. We would get really good use out of this freezer. The lifespan of an industrial freezer is 12 to 20 years. So the new Beacon Center that we're raising funds for currently, we would take that with us and we would use it until we couldn't use it anymore. So thank you very much for your past support and for your consideration today.
Thank you, Beacon. Next, let us hear from Second Baptist Church.
Good evening, members of the council. My name is Martha Chamberlain, and I'm the chairperson of the grant committee at SBC Bloomington. I have with me Ms. Doris Sim, who's also a member of the committee. Feed the Needy Food Pantry program is housed in the historic Second Baptist Church located on the corner of 8th and Rogers Street in the near west side community of Bloomington. The mission of the church food pantry is to lessen food insecurity for low-income family, unhoused resident, and those that may be temporarily experience food insecurity. The food pantry has been a lifeline for many of the west side residents who do not have access to transportation and can walk to the church to the pantry. The pantry serves an average of 120 patrons per month, with peak time near the end of the month when families tend to run low or out of food. The pantry is largely supported by financial donation and semi-annual food drive among the Second Baptist Church members. Additionally, through a partnership with the Hoosier Hill Food Bank, SBC is able to secure food items to support the pantry. Due to ever-increasing food prices, the food pantry has slowly become a mainstay for many families' ability to eat. One of the goals of the pantry is to purchase food that are nutritionally balanced. Purchasing fresh protein items such as chicken or turkey is not always possible due to the cost, and most of the protein value distributed at the pantry comes in a can. And so, however, protein is needed to keep food nutritionally balanced. So we are really asking for money to buy meat items. As the price of food continues to increase, the food insecurity need also increase, and the demand on the food pantry also increase. This grant will allow SBC to provide nutritional protein as well as other nutrition items for the food pantry patrons. Funds are also being requested to purchase non-purchase items such as can openers for the can opener for unhoused people, since everything we have in our pantry is in a can and they don't have a can open. Other things like personal items like toilet tissue, soap, things of that nature. We are asking for those things as well. Anything relating to hygiene as well. Additional funds, we're also asking for additional funds to purchase a large freezer or refrigerator to store milk, egg, juice, and other protein items we might buy. It is the hope that SBC will be awarded this grant to aid the pantry and continue to feed the most vulnerable in our community and to grow our pantry to meet the need within the city of Bloomington and the Monroe County area. Thank you all so very much for your time.
Thank you. Let us hear now from Middleway House.
Good evening. My name is Chloe Timmons, and I am our grants manager at Middleway House. I just want to take a moment to thank you all for this opportunity to speak to you about our organization and its needs. Middleway House seeks to end domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking in the lives of all people. We do so through community prevention programming, social service, and education. We provide several different services to survivors, including emergency shelter, 24/7 crisis intervention services, and on-scene advocacy, legal advocacy, permanent supportive housing, and prevention programming. Each program plays an essential role in working towards our mission. We are requesting funding today to provide bulk cleaning supplies to our residents in our permanent supportive housing program called The Rise. The Rise is a residential community of 28 2- and 3-bedroom apartments equipped with appliances such as stoves, microwaves, dishwashers, and residents also have access to laundry facilities on each floor. On-site programming is available at The Rise for GED tutoring, college coursework, financial education programming, and resume assistance, as well as practice employment interviews. These services are offered at no cost to residents. In addition to those services, we also offer client-driven programming through case management to enhance empowerment, quality of life, and social capital. A lack of access to safe, affordable, and permanent housing is a huge problem we see when we're working with survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. In order to reduce this barrier, we're looking to provide residents with cleaning supplies. It's something that might be overlooked often, and I think sometimes we take for granted. However, we see often that it's a big struggle for survivors as they are healing from their trauma. Middleway House does work diligently to ensure our clients have access to food and household items, but it's becoming more difficult to sustain as we see rising prices with everything. It's essential that our resident survivors have access to these supplies to not only maintain our apartments at The Rise for future residents, but also to improve living conditions for survivors and their families and to garner a larger sense of independence within our residents. By providing cleaning supplies to our residents, we hope to continue working towards empowering all survivors and creating a safer and cleaner space within our building. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us hear now from All Options.
Courage to change.
Oh, I'm sorry. We did. Courage to Change. You precede All Options.
Yeah, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Marilyn Grimes, Executive Director of Courage to Change Sober Living. Courage to Change Sober Living is structured housing, and our clients can stay up to a year with us. We have 41 clients now and 6 places, 2 women's and 4 men's. We have again this year asking for the Fresh Start Rent Scholarship. This enables, most of our clients are coming out of the criminal justice system, and they come to us with nothing, pretty much no money and no job. So our clients are part of living there. They have to obtain a job within the first 2 weeks. And so with consideration to that, we give them the first 2 weeks from this grant. If someone comes to us and doesn't need it, they can use it at another time. We give out 36 of the grants from this, and we have a couple of other that we work with. Sober Joe's gives us money for grant scholarships also. But if something happens to where they got, sometimes when they're in drug court, mental health court, they'll do something minor, but they actually make them sit in jail, and they can sit up to a week, and then that cuts into their finances, not being able to work. So they can use that grant for that to keep them on target so that they don't have the stress of trying to figure out how they're going to do it. So I thank you for letting me come here and present to you today. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did get an email from All Options shortly before the meeting. Unfortunately, their presenter isn't feeling well, so they won't make it this evening.
They're not going to make it? No. I'm sorry. Okay. Next would be New Leaf, New Life.
Hi, my name is Stacy Flynn, and I'm the new executive director of New Leaf, New Life. And we are a small Bloomington nonprofit, and we offer specialized services and resources to anyone who's been impacted by justice involvement. I'd like to share with you just some of our unique services and resources that we provide to those who are currently and/or formerly incarcerated. So we have a letter writing exchange program with Monroe County Correctional Center. And we provide anyone the opportunity to gain resources and get questions answered. A lot of our questions consist of treatment applications, and when folks are incarcerated, those must be provided on paper. So anyone who identifies as having a history of substance use disorder a lot of times reaches out to us in order to obtain that treatment application, which could make the difference in them staying in jail or getting released and getting that valuable opportunity to, have some successful transition. We strive to bridge that communication. We work alongside folks at the Public Defender's Office here in Monroe County. We reach out to the jail liaison in hopes of trying to coordinate with the appropriate folks, whoever's on that specific individual's team, so that we can make everyone that is involved with that person's case aware of maybe a possibility of a bed becoming available and open, and giving that person the ability to reach out and get the resources that they need. We also have a transition support center located on South Walnut Street, which is an office we encourage people to come visit upon release. Typically, they come see us maybe when they are at a sober living program or in some other local treatment program here in Monroe County. And we offer not only reentry goal planning with our case managers, but also referral systems with a few entry-level employers here in the area, and also with any basic necessities such as clothing, hygiene, things like bars of soap, razors, things of that nature that they generally don't have when they're transitioning. We also make available to them non-slip work shoes. A lot of folks are going into a restaurant job where they need shoes specific to be able to start that job. And we just want to emphasize the fact that throughout this process, we also coordinate transportation a lot of times, which can be a barrier for folks who are maybe trying to leave the area even to get treatment elsewhere, or when they are in our area here doing those same sorts of things to better themselves. We are requesting funding once again this year on behalf of the Sophia Travis Committee to continue offering that much needed support, our unique services that we offer at our office and inside of Monroe County Correctional Center. We expect more growth in our client numbers in the coming year in comparison to our statistics and data that we have been formulating a better way of doing. So with that, I would like to thank you for your past support of our mission, and thank you for your time and consideration this evening.
Thank you, New Leaf, New Life. Next, we'll hear from Jennifer online for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And
can you guys hear me okay? Oh, sorry.
We're ready to go, Jennifer.
All right, I'm quick at it. Can you tell? So you guys can hear me good though?
We're ready.
Okay. So thank you, first of all, for your time today. I appreciate it. My name is Jennifer Quick Cook. I'm the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Central Indiana. And at Big Brothers Big Sisters, we help children realize their potential and build their futures by creating and supporting one-to-one mentoring relationships. Today, we're asking for support as we're growing in our site-based program, which pairs youth facing personal and academic challenges with trained mentors in the schools. These relationships are fully monitored and supported by our team monthly to ensure that we adhere to strict child safety guidelines through a structured and secured Salesforce platform. This technology really helps monitor our safety measures, our goals and outcomes, and helps track those match relationships that we have within the school system. We have found this year our schools are in need of additional support to help children to be more successful. And we've learned that by providing a mentor in the school helps to reduce the classroom disruptions, increase just the child safety piece with the school. And then it helps also increase student engagement. It supports at-risk students, and it really does enhance emotional support and provides that overall positive behavioral change that we're looking for in schools. We provide this program free to our parents, matches, and the schools. Our goal is to help parents and schools reduce burdens and barriers for school teachers and provide other resources to connect schools and families. Our goal, and we aim to enhance the overall educational experience for students while reducing teacher stress and contributing to a more effective and supportive learning environment. Currently, we are in 3 schools in Monroe County, and we have the opportunity to grow that within about 6 or 7 more schools. And in addition to that, working and partnering together with those schools to help find those mentors and help support the students in the classroom. And I just want to thank you guys for your time today, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. We will hear next from Wheeler Mission. We have someone here?
I don't have anyone signed in.
Okay. And I don't see anyone online. Let us know if there's something different there. Okay, moving to Planned Parenthood next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephen Conrad, and I'm here on behalf of Planned Parenthood's Bloomington Health Center. We are a leading provider of sexual and reproductive health, and our health center serves over 2,300 unduplicated patients per year. As a safety net provider, we do not turn away patients no matter their income or insurance status, and we do serve a high volume of patients who require financial assistance to obtain their needed health care. Over the past 12 months, 45% of our patients in Bloomington were uninsured or on Medicaid, and 66% reported an annual income at or below 150% of the federal poverty level. Planned Parenthood is respectfully requesting operating support this year. We have been under financial duress for several years, and at the time of this grant application, our Bloomington Health Center is operating with a deficit that exceeds $400,000. Our operating challenges include a decline in patient volume, now that so many people are forced to leave the state for care. We've also had our own licensed and non-licensed clinical staff leave the state, which makes it challenging to maintain our normal appointment schedules. Our personnel and supply costs have inflated every year since the pandemic, and Medicaid reimbursement rates are now significantly lower than the actual cost of providing care. And lastly, we need to provide patient navigation for those in need of abortion care, miscarriage management, and gender-affirming hormone care. But patient navigation is not billable or isn't reimbursed by insurance. We are working to increase earned and contributed revenue opportunities, but it will likely take a couple years for our health center operations to stabilize. Our board has recently announced a budget reduction that will likely include health center closures around Indiana and in multiple states. But our Bloomington team is very determined to keep our local health center open and accessible to the thousands of people who depend on us. People in Monroe County need and deserve access to affordable birth control, HIV, STI testing and treatment, life-saving cancer screenings, gender-affirming hormone care, and more. Operating support this year will help make up for low Medicaid reimbursement rates. It will help us sustain our normal discount programs for patients who are uninsured, and it will broadly help us overcome our funding gap during this difficult time. Thank you for considering an operating grant that will help sustain Monroe County's family planning and sexual health safety net.
Thank you, Stephen. We'll hear next from Boys and Girls Club.
Hi, good evening. My name is Leslie Absher. I'm the Vice President of Resource Development at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Bloomington. We have 2 locations in town and 1 in Ellettsville. This request is specifically for our Ellettsville Club. We serve about 200 kids every single day after school in our Ellettsville Club. We've got about 750 registered members, so we could see as many as 750 kids over the course of a year after school. The Boys and Girls Club provides after-school care until 7 o'clock. We provide care all day long in the summer, on fall breaks, winter breaks, spring break. We charge only $20 a year. So we rely on the community to fill that gap. It actually costs us about $750 a child to serve them all year long, but we don't pass that cost on to our families because we don't want it to be a barrier for them to come to our clubs. About half of our kids are from low-income families. At the Ellettsville Club, it's about 37% from low-income families and probably wouldn't be able to afford that cost if we passed it on to them. So this request is for $10,000 for our snack program at the Ellettsville Club, which we will likely have to get rid of if we can't find funding for. Funding, as you've heard from other agencies for food, has become difficult since the pandemic. Our Ellettsville Club does not qualify for other local supports in Monroe County. So we get funding and free snacks from Hoosier Hills and our friends at Community Kitchen for our Ferguson, Crestmont, and Lincoln Street clubs. But we do not get those snacks at Ellettsville, so we have to pay out of pocket for the Ellettsville snacks. We have some really interesting partnerships built, and so we can get a snack for about 25 cents that has fruit and vegetable and grain and protein, which is a really affordable cost. We found vendors that are willing to kind of give us the cost without charging a markup, but we still need funds to buy those snacks. Have you ever heard of the word hangry?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So hungry and angry, right? Have you ever seen 200 kids walk into a building hangry after school? I hope that you never have to see that, and I hope for my staff we don't have to see that either, but that day may be coming if we can't find funding for our snacks. We try to give our kids every single opportunity to grow and thrive when they're in our buildings. Those kids walk in, and the first thing they want to do is let out some energy and steam from school, so they play and they run around, and the second thing they want to do is eat. And so we want to be able to provide them those snacks, and on Fridays we also give them dinners and send them home with food for the weekends as well, which
a lot of kids and families take advantage of, and this is included in this request as well. And so we're really thankful to be able to feed those kids. They can then get into tutoring and homework help, and they can play and exercise and do other things at Boys and Girls Club because they've been fed, and they're not so frustrated or disappointed in themselves when they struggle at something that they're doing. If they're fed, they can focus on what's in front of them. They don't have to focus on the fact that they're hungry. So this is a really significant request for us, and a unique time for us to make this kind of a request, which we normally would have this funded, but we really appreciate the consideration of this request specifically this year for our Ellettsville kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Let us hear now from Catholic Charities.
I don't have anyone signed in for this organization or the next organization in person.
Then we'll hear from Monroe County Humane Association, assuming someone's here. Oh, we have someone. Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Good evening, members of the committee, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm Andrew Krebs, Executive Director of Monroe County Humane Association, and I'm here to speak about our Pet Food Pantry program, which plays a critical role in keeping hungry pets fed, out of our shelter, and with their families. All of MCHA's programs and services focus on keeping families together. A few of those include our Pet Food Pantry, veterinary clinic, vaccine clinics, street outreach, crisis housing, and spay-and-neuter assistance. Pets are important members of a family, providing emotional support and stability. However, when families face job loss, inflation, medical emergencies, or any other financial crisis, feeding their pets becomes a challenge. Specifically, this program supports pets in low-income families, pets with older owners, those experiencing homelessness or housing stability, and pets whose owners are temporarily unemployed or underemployed. In 2023, we distributed over 25,000 pounds of pet food to more than 1,000 animals from 350 families each month. This year, we're seeing a 150% increase in that demand, equivalent to 38,000 pounds of pet food. Many individuals facing financial struggles often prioritize feeding their pets over themselves, sacrificing their own nutrition to ensure their beloved pets are cared for. Our Pet Food Pantry ensures that pets are fed, allowing owners to focus on feeding themselves and overcoming their financial challenges. Our grant request will allow us to purchase 11,000 pounds of pet food to meet this increased demand. While we receive generous donations, the rise in need means we must seek additional funding and to ensure no pet goes hungry and ultimately stays out of our overburdened animal shelter. In addition to serving individual families, we serve pet food monthly to local partners, including Mother Hubbard's Cupboard, Beacon, Area 10 Agency on Aging, Kinzer Flats, and Crawford Apartments, to get food where it's needed most and to reduce barriers. Moreover, any food MCHA can't use is donated to Wild Care and is fed to the wild animals that are in their care. Our program not only distributes pet food, but also provides other necessary supplies like cat litter, pet crates, leashes, collars, beds, and even wheelchairs and ramps for those who have mobility issues. Thank you for considering our request. Your support will make a real difference in helping families and their pets stay together during difficult times. We appreciate any amount the committee can designate for this vital program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We have Chase online for New Hope for Families. Chase, it looks like you are ready to go. Are you ready?
Yes.
Wonderful.
My name is Chase. I'm the operations director here at New Hope for Families. Here at New Hope, we try to do two things well. One is provide emergency shelter to families with children who would otherwise sleep outside. And the other thing is to provide high quality early learning, that's birth to 5 education for children. First thing we do is emergency shelter. Families with kids need a place to be until they can move into a new lease, and that's the New Hope Family Shelter. More than 8 in 10 do move into a lease in their name, and they do it on average in 3 months. That would be impossible without our early learning center, because most of the families we serve are young themselves, and they have young kids who aren't old enough for free public school, so they need somewhere to be. So they can use our early learning program for free while they're here. We help people get subsidies so they can stay enrolled even after they move on. That helps them stay stable in their new home. And it connects their children with top quality childcare. The ELC is a level 3 Paths to Quality Early Learning Center. That means excellent. There's only one more superlative level of accreditation above that. Even among high quality and excellent centers, one of our distinctives is that we provide free meals and snacks during the day to our kids. They can drop off as early as 8 o'clock and pick up as late as 5:30, and we feed all the children there for free. Half of the enrollment is reserved for students who are affected by homelessness. Either they've stayed in the shelter or we're using the early learning center so the family does not become homeless. And then the other come off an ordinary wait list. So to keep everybody having a really similar experience, we give everybody the same food, and to make sure that those kids who are coming from particularly chaotic moments in their home life, their families and they don't have to worry about bringing lunch or coming up with the fees or coming up with food. So we are asking for $10,000 to help fund our food program. Not only do we buy a lot of high quality whole foods to satisfy our high standards, we also employ a chef who is able to make the most of all kinds of food, not just inexpensive food that we buy from vendors fresh, but also things from the Hoosier Hills Food Bank and from other donors. And she can whip that all up and put it together in a way that makes sense at scale for all of our kids. I just want to tell you one quick story that I think illustrates how these things work together and the importance of the food program. We had a mom in shelter. She gave birth. She fled her abuser. She gave birth while she was in the shelter, and she was there for just a few months until they were able to pair her with an affordable lease that's based on her income, so she could start fresh with her new baby. And he was enrolled in the Early Learning Center there in his first year of life. A couple weeks after she moved in to her new place, she had a serious mental health crisis, and she needed to be inpatient in the hospital. So DCS helped place the baby with a family member, and they didn't even know that he was enrolled in the Early Learning Center. So just a couple days later, we found out. We got him back enrolled, but she had been breastfeeding. But luckily, we have this free food program, so he was able to get infant formula on the first day that her family member brought him. She was really grateful to know that he was already provided for, and that meant that he could stay in her care for much longer than DCS was hoping. So he didn't have to go into foster care. So she could keep her job, he could have food, and now he's back reunited with his mom after that crisis. So that's just one small way that having safe and stable and nutritious food in the context of early learning is critical for helping these families that we serve stay together. So we hope that y'all will consider our request. As you can see from the budget we provided, we have substantial partial funding, but we need a lot more to make sure that all of the students and children that we serve can have nutritious and reliable meals while they're enrolled. Thank you guys very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Let us have a presentation now from Girls Rock.
Hi there. My name is Carrie Albright. I'm a volunteer and outreach coordinator with Girls Rock. And first, I want to say thank you for the support that we've had from you all in the past, and for allowing me the chance to come and share with you a little bit about who we are and what we're trying to accomplish. So Girls Rock Bloomington is just one of the many Girls Rock organizations around the country and around the world. And our goal is to foster creativity, self-expression, and positive self-esteem for girls, trans, non-binary, and gender-expansive youth between the ages of about 8 and 14 years old, using music education and positive mentorship. And I could go on and on about our workshops and the collaborations we've had with WFHB and Women Writing for a Change, the performances that we facilitated for our young campers on IU's campus and out in the community. But there's a deeper level that Girls Rock gets to, and we all know that mental health is a huge concern right now. And we know that 1 in 7 youth struggle with their mental health. And for LGBTQ plus youth, it is 45% that report considering self-harm, and it's even higher for LGBTQ youth of color. So that's where Girls Rock shows up for these young people. We know that music, through so many studies, we know that music has a positive impact on well-being, but creating music and using that form of expression is even stronger when it comes to mental health. And so for these young folks, what we aim to do is provide a safe and empowering space where they can express themselves through music, build friendships, and collaborate regardless of their identity. One way that we ensure that any youth who is interested in participating is able to is through our BIPOC Community Fund. And that is a scholarship fund for any youth, BIPOC, trans, limited in funding, who is interested in participating in our programs. No questions asked, it's just a full scholarship to participate in our programs. And what that does is it ensures access to folks who may otherwise not be able to participate, knowing that they're not just welcome, but encouraged and supported when they participate with us. Now, this past year, we had 15% of our attendees use that BIPOC Community Fund, which is an important piece of how we can keep this program growing. This year, we had 35 campers, which in our summer camp, that's a lot of campers to be playing music, teaching instruments, learning how to write songs, performing together these original songs they've written for our community, for each other, for friends and family. But what we know is that that is helping them build their self-esteem and their self-confidence. We also have a ton of fun. They're very silly. They create these wild songs. You can see them growing in the process. And so we're so proud to participate in this. But it really is through support of the community, through volunteers, and through organizations supporting us that we're able to do this. So I just wanted to say thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting the youth of Monroe County.
Thank you. We have Community Kitchen online to give a presentation to us.
Hi, this is Vicki Pierce from Community Kitchen. I'm having some sound issues, so I want to make sure you can hear me.
We can, Vicki. Thank you.
Perfect. So I apologize for not being in person. I ended up needing to do double duty and be in two places this evening. So I do want to thank you for the opportunity to present online. And I want to thank you for all of your past support, in particular for the funding that we received outside of this from the county council and commissioners that has helped us with our express location. Our request tonight is for funds for food purchase. We are the largest provider of free meals in the county, last year serving over 325,000 meals. 54% of the people we served were children, 14% were seniors, and 13% were experiencing homelessness at some point during the year. So the funds that you use to support food for us and the food that we're able to give folks goes to some of our community's most vulnerable. That is our request for this year. Just to give you some perspective, last year we spent more on food than we ever have, $225,000 almost on food. We are down, it looks this year, food expenses that we may be about $25,000 or $30,000 under that. So we're really excited to have leveled out and worked on some other funding streams and avenues for food donations, but it is still obviously a very large expense for us. Meals only cost us about $2.39 to provide, so any amount of funding really makes an impact. I did want to let you know too, because I have the opportunity to talk to you, that we are nearing the end of our Express project, our Express rebuild. So as soon as we have firm dates on that, we'll be planning an open house that we'll be inviting you all to. So we've been very excited about that new facility and all that it's going to mean, as it's almost twice the size of the previous one and much more efficient and effective for us. So we're excited about that, and that's really what we have going on right now. I'm assuming you don't have questions, but if you do, there is time, it appears, to ask those. Otherwise, I just want to thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. We have organizations to present. Monroe County United Ministries is next. We have anyone?
I don't have anyone signed in for that organization.
Okay. Following that is Be Loved Transportation. Do we have Anyone for Be Loved?
I do not.
Okay. And we are approaching the end. And we want to go back and pick up one that we had to skip over. So we have two projects that are collaborative projects. And do we have anyone ready to speak for the CPR project? Very good. Welcome.
Hello, I am back. Once again, my name is Chloe Timmons, and I am speaking on behalf of 13 nonprofit organizations within our community who are in search of funding to provide high quality and low cost CPR and first aid training to their staff and volunteers. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all again about our mission and our goals. Nonprofits in Bloomington and Monroe County are a vital part of our community, serving diverse populations and addressing a vast range of social issues. Without adequate training, staff and volunteers across nonprofits in our community are not equipped to respond to medical emergencies. Populations served by agencies within our community, individuals with disabilities, survivors of violence, people experiencing homelessness, and many more, are often at higher risk of experiencing these emergencies. This training initiative addresses the critical gap by providing accessible, high-quality CPR and first aid training to organizations who cannot prioritize it. Recognizing this need, I have a list of the 13 organizations within our coalition. It includes Middle Way House, Amethyst House, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of South Central Indiana, Bloomington Creative Glass Center, Bloomington Montessori School, Cancer Support Community, Lotus Education and Arts Foundation, Monroe County History Center, Mother Hubbard's Cupboard, People and Animal Learning Services, Tandem Community Birth Center and Postpartum House, Windfall Dancers, and Wonder Lab. Training will be conducted by CPR B-Town, who is an established provider known for delivering affordable American Heart Association certified courses. This initiative will bring together so many nonprofits in our community that may not otherwise be connected to each other, fostering a collaborative learning environment where individuals can share experiences and learn from one another. The primary goal of our initiative is to enhance the safety and well-being of staff, volunteers, and program participants within Bloomington and Monroe County's nonprofit sector. This project will enhance our organization's capacity to respond to emergencies, protect vulnerable populations, and ultimately save lives by equipping staff and volunteers with life-saving skills. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We have a second collaborative project, and it concerns financial wellness. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having us. My name is Sandy Keller. I'm the Executive Director of My Sister's Closet of Monroe County. And with me is Marcy Hibbert with JC Bank. We're going to be partnering on this presentation together. My Sister's Closet is known for helping women find employment by giving them the tools and training they need to succeed. We also, through our Success Institute, teach financial wellness. And part of the financial wellness and security that we teaches them a variety of skill sets, but while we have always done this, we have always had a hard time putting gas in the engine of the women that we are training so that they are able to take hold and actually reach with success. This is a new program for initiative for client programming in cooperation with JC Bank and the shared clients of My Sister's Closet and the male and female clients of Wheeler Mission. This program is designed to be able to help them find a new way to move away from the habits that they've got and to create new ones. And our project is called Rounding Up to Support Financial Wellness.
At JC Bank, we have a program called a Roundup program, where if someone has a checking account and a savings account, every time they use their debit card, the extra money over and above whatever the dollar amount is would go to their savings account. We are asking for $5,000 today to fund this program so that we can help people move out of poverty, teach them how, through workshops and through financial mentors, how to budget, understand credit, learn about savings, and responsible spending.
And so the clients that we work with regularly are saying that they need to pay for small things that generally only are no more than about $300, but it's difficult for them to find the money to do those. They generally go to their township, they go to churches, they go to the Salvation Army, and generally they don't have the tools to reach their goals. This program is going to move them away from predatory lenders and teach them how to be able to accomplish one budget goal at a time. Our goal is to train them to become habitual savers, and then we will teach them how to become partners with their advocates in the community that are helping them to reach their goals so that they establish their credit, they find employment, find affordable housing, they're able to maintain a car and things like that. And so, I would like Marcy to be able to tell you how we plan to extend the dollars from Sophia Travis.
With the $5,000, normally if we were just going to give someone $300, clients $300, we could help 16 people. But with this program, we'll be funding, helping to fund their savings. We'll be making a match to their actual savings dollars so that if they were to save $50, they would earn $10 from this fund. If we did that, we could help 100 clients achieve a $300 savings goal for that need that they had. And in the end, it would end up being $30,000 worth of savings that those 100 people will represent.
So we're really excited about this project. And just one more thing, in a very small survey with 22 of our current and past clients, we asked them if this would be something that they would utilize. And 100% of them said, yes, sign me up, I'd like to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. One additional applicant, and that is Community Justice and Mediation Center. If Liz Granat is still online, and I don't see her listed.
We also had someone from Lotus that logged on.
Oh, do we have someone from Lotus too?
If they're still there, but they did.
Liz has her, and she has her phone, or she said in the chat earlier, she has her phone.
Okay, so let us do Lotus next. And I don't know who that is because I wasn't clued in on that. Can you tell us?
I don't know who.
I don't.
That was Katarina. Katarina, are you still online?
I'm sorry that we don't have Katarina. Then let us go to Liz Granat and CJAM, Community Justice and Mediation Center.
Okay, hi everyone. This is Liz Granat with CJAM. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great. So sorry, I don't know why I couldn't get on earlier. Yeah, thanks so much for this opportunity. We're requesting funds to support training, scholarships, programs, supplies, and outreach materials. As I outlined in my proposal, we do provide programming through our Victim Offender Restoration Program and STEP, our shoplifting and theft prevention program, and these are primarily referred by the prosecutor's office and probation. We provide mediation and restorative justice training and workshops, group facilitation, and then mediation cases from both community and court-referred cases, which includes eviction court, where we served last year in 2023 over 600 households through the Eviction Prevention Project. And I want to share a little bit more about the work that we do in eviction court. Last year, there were 962 eviction cases filed in 2023 in Monroe County. Our teams of mediators provided mediation on Wednesday mornings and Thursday afternoons to 485 of those cases, where 82% were able to reach agreements to either remain in their home or voluntarily move out, thus avoiding an eviction on their record. 36% of these households are with children 18 years or younger. 85% were severely rent burdened, extremely low or very low income. 27% were county residents that were not living in Bloomington, and disproportionately 30% of the tenants are non-white. In addition, we also provide social service and housing referrals along with court navigation information, really helping the tenants understand what's happening to them and what's going to happen next. I share these statistics to underscore why we are requesting funding to support our EP outreach materials so that we can be more proactive in getting to tenants and landlords before they have to end up in court, and why we need scholarship funding to support our volunteer mediators to ensure we have a diverse and well-trained mediator pool. So thank you so much for your ongoing support of all of these wonderful organizations that are doing such important and good work in our community. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
Thank you, Liz. I'm glad we got to hear from you.
Thanks.
Is there anybody else that you think we can hear from? I think our list is complete. So let me just give a few items of business. A reminder that grant awards will be announced during the County Council's work session on Tuesday, October 29th. We start our meetings at 5 o'clock here in the Nat U. Hill room. And if you have any questions about procedures with these grants, go ahead and call into the council office. So, committee members, is there anything you want to add? This is an amazingly quiet committee. Okay. Thank you all for this long presentation, and we look forward to presenting our recommendations to the County Council. The committee doesn't make the decisions on the grants. We simply make recommendations, and the council as a whole makes the decisions. So thank you, everyone, and we'll hear more from you on October 27th. Oh, excuse me, 29th. Thank you. It's a wrap.